Askreddit thread. What is pretty fucked up if you think about it? Just as a side note, if you ever wonder why I started all of them with Askreddit thread, it's because when I hit record, sometimes the recording doesn't actually happen for like a couple of seconds after, even though it's saying it's recording. So it's just a little bit of dead space. So sometimes it'll cut out my beginning little sentence. Now then, on to what is pretty fucked up if you think about it. Casper, the friendly ghost, is really a dead toddler. Is he a toddler? I thought he was a kid. That upset people enough that early Harvey Casper comics gave Casper a ghost mom and a dad and a ghost baby pictures, implying he was just born a ghost. Well, I suppose a ghost could have sex. Spooky. Or his entire family was brutally slaughtered and they all came back as ghosts, doomed to be trapped in limbo. Never able to live the real world, never able to pass on to the next one. Wait, wasn't he like 12? He certainly wasn't a toddler when he got his body back and danced with Christiana Ricci. I thought he was a young kid. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was a young kid, not a toddler. I watched the Casper movie a whole bunch of times. I used to play it all the time. One of the daycares I went to. Pretty good movie. For when I was a kid, I don't know how it is today. Everyone is walking around with a turd inside of them. That reminds me of that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie with Turbo Man. Not this line, but the fact that I used to watch movies all the time at daycares. I think I watched Turbo Man like 1,000,000 times. Oh, that movie really reminds me of Christmas. How Pluto and Goofy are both dogs, but one is treated as a pet. Pluto can't talk, though. He's also not a planet. That we save our dead. We have fields of dead people and we go visit them. This is why I'm being cremated. What if some earthquake happens? I don't want everybody to see my bones. It's the truest of nude. Did you know that right now inside of you, there is an entire human skeleton? Oh, that's true. How easy it is to trip up old people. Except the ones in wheelchairs. It's tough to trip those over, but they can be tipped. Yay. That most of our knowledge of what foods and animals to eat and which ones to stay away from originated from some poor sap that ate the wrong berry. The real MVP. Taking one for the team. How did we manage to tame things that were toxic? Almonds used to be toxic and some guy thought, damn, they still look tasty. How did they decide to breed them? How did they find less toxic ones to breed? It doesn't make any sense, man. The way the almonds used to be toxic wasn't like, oh, I'll eat almond and oh no, dead. If you ate a handful, you'd get a stomachache. So you can eat a few and be okay. Slowly over time, you get favorite plants by duplicating the ones that don't cause stomach aches, and presto, delicious almonds instead. Ooh. Let's see. Jello. Bones and hooves become a strange, transparent... Oh, Jello, like the actual pudding stuff. Bones and hooves become a strange, transparent, edible, jiggly thing that if you leave out, just becomes like a little pile of glue. And we tell our children that it's tasty, and they are excited to eat the fused glue-like sweetened mush that it is. And yet I still love Jello. I haven't had Jello in a while. Sounds pretty good. Drinking cow's milk and thinking breast milk is disgusting. Lactation of the same species? Absolutely gross unless you're an infant. Lactation of a four-legged creature that shits on itself daily? Fucking delicious. Better yet, let's add chocolate into the mix. Fuck trying to read my inbox. I quit. Lol. Why do we call it breast milk anyway? Why not human milk? In Dutch, we call it mother milk. Like the cow wasn't a mother. Plenty of people think it's gross for infants, too. I have a cousin who nursed most of her kids, declare that it's gross past 6 months. Why? No answer. There are so many arbitrary points past which it becomes gross to various folks. Bathroom swirlies. I can't believe that shit actually happens or had happened. Wait, oh. Usually people will just joke around about that shit. But when we actually think about it, damn, that's fucked up. Shoving a kid's face in a public toilet with hundreds of thousands of asses that sat on to lay waste. That's fucked up. Wait, That's real and not some stupid thing that bullies did on those tropey Disney Channel movies? Well, I mean, you see, the thing is, some kids who like to think of themselves as bullies do like to copy the tropes from TV shows. People will copy anything they see on TV. You should visit an inner city school sometime. Nah, I'm good. Actually, I should probably say I've never actually seen anyone get swirlied before. I've only, heard about it. I'm relatively sure you can't just visit a school if you don't have a reason to be there. Sir, what are you doing? Oh, just looking around, taking a stroll. Shaving. I can't go to work in the morning without first taking the sharpest piece of metal in my house and dragging it all over my face. Yes, you can. Don't tell anybody otherwise. I work in the chemical processing / manufacturing industry. We have to carry masks in case of release. I literally have to be able to wear it properly, or it's unacceptable safety hazard. This is why Hitler had his mustache in that style, to fit in a gas mask. When you're with someone and they are constantly on their phone, but then when you try contacting them, they seem to never have time to respond. Shady people, man. I'm on my phone so much that I forget to respond to people. It's weird, but I'm always on Reddit and I'll ignore a text until I finish reading a comment. Then I'll reply to the comment. By the time I post it, I'll have forgotten about the text. Why do I get the feeling that I'm now going to be chased around Reddit by people posting check your text on every comment I make? Pro tip, don't open the text until you're prepared to answer it, so you always have the notification glaring at your phone. Glaring at you. Pets. Pets are weird. Almost every week, at least once, I look at my cat and go, ? I just took this animal and placed him in my house, gave him food and water, and don't let him ever escape. Maybe once a day we'll interact with each other and he'll climb on my lap, but most of the time I just coexist with an animal while we both go about our day-to-day business. Cats kind of started it, though. We domesticated dogs on purpose, but cats moved in on their own and learned to coexist with humans by hunting vermin. Dog is man's best friend. Man is cat's best friend. Mine are firmly attached to me. As long as they're awake, I can't go an hour without them wanting to play or get petted or use me for a pillow. They sleep with me, greet me at the door when I get home, and are constant companions. And yes, I'm talking about my 2 cats. Is it crazy how saying sentences backwards create backward sentences saying how crazy it is? What the fuck is in my head now? Oysters. Found some rocks with snot in it. Thinking of eating it. Goes to Jeff Griffin go. Here's the video. Oh yeah, that's what I thought it was. The lyrics to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Dude gets ostracized because of a physical deformity. But as soon as he becomes useful, the other reindeer desperately trying to act like they never mistreated him. Isn't it messed up that Back to the Future, Chuck Berry heard Marty McFly's version of Johnny B. Goode and plagiarized it 100%? I always think that it's so wrong that an artist would do something like that. By playing that song in public, Marty created a completely different timeline, where his parents and Biff traded socioeconomic statuses. We don't know that Chuck Berry did perform the same song in the New World, and the Butterfly Effect may have had him write a different song completely with a similar style. What is fucked up is that the family Marty returns to are doppelganger strangers, and all of the people he ever knew no longer exist, and their timeline is gone. They have a whole different history and even personalities with which Marty has no experience. That's true. The plot of Revenge of the Nerds. They spy on girls via cameras in their bedrooms. The main nerd rapes the girl, who promptly falls for him, and they portray normal middle-aged black dudes as scarier than a college football team. They also sell pie plates with nude pictures of the hot girl without her knowing. God damn, those nerds were rapey. Kinda like Overboard. Man basically kidnaps a brain-damaged woman and takes her to his hillbilly mountain house. Makes her a servant and eventually fucks her under false pretenses. All because she was a bitch to him one day. Overboard. You leave out the part where her rich husband abandons her in a mental hospital and said hillbilly decides He can no longer be that shitty and is on his way to tell her about her real life when her memory comes back. Come on, man, you left out half the movie. Plus, she owed him money. That was his original rationale, not that she was a bitch. You could say he went overboard. I don't think I've ever heard of that movie before. Child beauty pageant shows. Frank Reynolds' Little Beauties. Not gonna diddle your kids. You don't even need to think about it. It's still fucked up. Sleep. We go completely blackout unconscious for hours at a time. And the reason why is still 100%. Still isn't 100% known. If we don't do it, we go crazy and die. Pretending to die for 8 hours each night so we don't actually die. 8 hours. I wish. I know I sleep for more like 10. It's so our brains can download software updates. We download the updates when we are awake but don't install them till we go to sleep. Where our meat comes from. I try not to think about it when I'm deep throating a chicken sandwich. I don't think you're eating that right. That we take pieces from dead people and put them in nearly dead people to keep those nearly dead people from becoming fully dead. It's strange to know that dead people's insides work better than yours while you're still alive. I'm a transplant recipient. The night sky. The longer you spend staring at the stars, the smaller and more insignificant you start to feel. I never realized how intimidating this can be for some people. This summer, while out jaunting with my buddy at the lake, I coaxed him to the dock to look at the star/northern lights. He was first scared that a bear would eat us en route to the dock on the small path leading there. Then when we got to the dock, he was blown away, but very quickly said, "This is actually really overwhelming." He grew up in a city where I grew up in a town of less than 4,000 people, so I guess maybe I'm used to it. I fucking loved it though. Space trips me out. It would be nice to see the night sky. Out in the middle of nowhere. A male's goo and a female's goo mix together, and the goo starts to form a tiny human. The tiny human grows inside a female until it decides to come screaming through the same place you put the goo in. Then the tiny human grows into a larger human, a vassal for carrying goo to mix with another member of the opposite sex's goo. TLDR, goo. That people hate each other simply because they have different opinions. We just had national tragedy and we couldn't wait to blame it on each other. Wow, fuck that guy. Extra fabulous comics. What's this? Team A, Team B? Wow, fuck that guy. Oh, that's funny. That almost every woman bleeds at least once a month. Forget where, but read a Grant analogy here on Reddit that said a woman's menstrual cycle is like having a husband that spends 3 weeks putting baby furniture together, and then loudly tearing everything apart and throwing it in the streets for 5 days, only to immediately turn around and start building more baby furniture. Profusely from her genitals for a week. So basically, at any one time, it's likely that 1/4 of the women you encounter in a day are bleeding and just going about their business. I'm bleeding from my genitals right now, goes about business. Oh, it's not just bleeding. They're going about their business while one of their organs is sloughing off a layer of itself and letting it ooze out of the permanent cleft between their legs. If only it were simple bleeding. Sounds gross. That in the majority of our schools in the US, we are feeding our kids absolute crap food and teaching them bad eating habits because the big food companies strike big deals with school districts. No wonder we have such a problem with obesity in this country. Don't forget the food pyramid. Remember, kids, a healthy diet is about 50% bread and pasta and white sauce. That's so many carbs. Names. Upon your birth, someone assigns a series of noises to you that people will use to refer to you for the rest of your life. Pokemon. It's a video game about children enslaving wild animals to become the best at forcing them to fight each other. Don't forget, you can also build up a lifetime's worth of relationships with said pet, only to give it away to some kid across the world in exchange for the same species but with a different color. Fainted. Lavender Town. Do 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 do. Peculiar, Missouri. was named by the postmaster after the town's father told him, "We don't care what you name it as long as it's sort of peculiar." What's fucked up about this? This is funny / interesting. The fact that it's completely illegal to pay someone to have sex with you, unless you film it, in America. We are on a rock floating through space. In 100 years, most likely, nearly all of us will be dead and forgotten. Our achievements will have little significance apart from the genes we pass on. In 1,000 years, people will probably look back at us as we look back on the Europeans of the Middle Ages. Well, that is, if there are still human beings 1,000 years from now on. Our lives are utterly insignificant in the big picture of things. The universe does not care if we live, die, have family, kids, get the promotion, win the game, kill each other over religion, protection, fear. All of these things are pointless. Our sun will burn out in 5 billion years. It's not like there will be humans on the earth by that point, or anything that resembles the humans of today. We could potentially be a species that spans galaxies, or we could end up extinct. All of the accomplishments of every human being that ever existed are absolutely meaningless in the long run of things. All the atrocities committed will eventually be forgotten in the passage of time. I, however, take solace in this knowledge, because now I look at life as an open door with nothing holding me back. Because I know in the long run, nothing will matter anyway, so I might as well enjoy life while I can, because my life rocks. If you take out like those last two sentences, that'd make a really good, Linkin Park song. Oh, it's totally edgy. I need a drink after reading this. My paycheck to work ratio. You only need the dot or the two, not both. That's why he has a problem with his paycheck to work ratio. Breeding chicken with an egg wash. Not only did you just murder the chicken, but now you're dredging it in its own unborn child. Now I'm hungry. Eggs are not unborn chickens. They are chicken ovulation, or periods. A large number of people took videos of their dogs shitting and posted them on YouTube. Then someone else came along and compiled some of those videos together so that people who want to watch dogs taking shits only have to watch one long video instead of finding a whole bunch of small videos. And these videos have crazy amounts of views on YouTube. This is how we spend our time. Watching dog shit on YouTube. Seriously, people watch that shit? And I should clarify that the only reason I know about this is from talking to a dude at a party who used to make these in his free time. He showed me one, but it didn't look any further into it after that. By we, you mean you, right? I've never watched a video of a dog shit on YouTube. Why would I want to do that? Oh, that's funny. Open mouth kissing. You create an unbroken tube from your butthole to theirs. Gross. The lyrics to Pumped Up Kicks. I don't know what the hell that is. Alright, that's it for this.